try to spend a little more time thinking about what you want and a little less time about what is. You see, most people, you're going to like this, we have not said this in this way before, most people contour and arrive at their expectation based upon what they are observing. So what is has most of their attention, so what is slow to change. And most people come to expect what is, and it's logical, isn't it? You notice it, you collect the data about it, you offer a vibration about it, so it manifests, so you notice it, so it manifests, so you notice it, so it manifests. And that's not a bad thing. It is not a bad thing that there is a platform of expectation from which you are launching into your next creation. We would not ever want to take your ability to observe away from you, because it adds to the stability and the continuity of the platform from which you are creating. But when you want change from what is, then it is your job to spend less time what-ising and more time what-ifing. Less time observing what is, more time imagining what can be, more time remembering something that you like. And that's how you change expectation. This is the new thing that we were talking about. Expectation can only be changed when you merge together the platform from where you are with something that you want that is beyond it. Most people are really more regurgitators of life than anything else. Even the medical and the scientific communities move very slowly because they're so busy collecting data about what is that they fill their thought processes full of what is, and they substantiate their expectation about what is. So what could be is very slow to morph, you see, but it does not need to be. It can change much more rapidly than it does. So really the answer is think more about where you're going and less about where you are. That really is. Spend more time noticing what is. Get inside your head. Get in your imagination. Step back from the details of where you are. And that's not only in relationship with how your body looks and feels, but it's about how you feel about the food that you're eating. You have to begin to see food differently. We're surprised that any of you can find anything to eat, because almost every food substance has had several books written about why you should not eat it. So much so that most people who are planning for food, sitting in front of food, shopping for food, choosing the restaurant, looking at the menu, watching others eat, or eating themselves, almost everybody who is in the attitude of a relationship with food in any way is in a sort of state of semi to tremendous trauma. And so the answer is to spend at least as much time thinking about the food that you're going to eat as you do actually eating the food. And during the time that you're thinking about the food that you're going to eat, work on imagining it to be as you want it to be in relationship to your body, so that you just gently morph your expectation into a new place. Let's say that you're getting ready, you're going to go have a nice meal somewhere tonight with someone. And you know that you'll be in the restaurant for an hour or two, or maybe longer. And so, in anticipation of going there, imagine how you will feel while you are there. Imagine feeling satisfied at the place you've chosen to be. Imagine feeling satisfied at the wonderful people who have culminated to prepare your food and serve it to you. Imagine the fun you will have with those that you will exchange your words and fun. And then turn your attention to the food that you will eat and begin anticipating in advance what good choices you will make. Step back from it in a more general way and think about how delightful this experience is going to be. And then think about your body, this intelligent body of trillions of cells, each of which know exactly what to do, and compliment them sort of collectively for their ability to maintain the continuity of your body. And speak to them lovingly, saying to them, I know you know what to do, and I always think of you as I am choosing the food that I'm eating. And I know that you have the ability to deal with whatever it is that I give you, and that you have the ability to utilize the energy from it and give me feelings of energy and movement and flexibility, that you have the ability to add to my well-being. I feel appreciation for the cells of my body and for the food that I'm eating and for those who prepare it. And I'm so looking forward to this time. And if you can stay in that sort of friendly, loving dialogue for 15 or 20 minutes here and there, you don't have to do it all at once, but as you make the appointment, flow some thought toward it. As you're driving toward it, flow some thought toward it. As you're sitting in the restaurant, flow some thought toward it. In other words, get yourself warmed up. It's what we call vibrational pre-paving. It's thinking about a positive outcome from the action that you're about to take part in. And so what happens to most is you do the opposite of warming up relative to so many things. When you go into a run all full of dread and resistance, when you are sort of not loose and limber, but you use your willpower to force yourself forward, you stretch your muscles beyond because you have not warmed them up, so to speak. And most of you are trying to get so much leverage out of your action, and you don't do any warm-up of your environment by thinking about what you want. You don't get your juices flowing, so to speak. You don't prepare your body. You don't bring yourself into alignment. And so it's like only a scanty part of the cooperative cells come to the party, and they do their best to compensate with what you've got going on, but you haven't opened the links of alignment unless you've done your anticipating, your sort of vibrational warm-up or pre-pave. And that's what you're talking about here.
That's why I don't like exercise. I don't do the warm-up.
But you see, if you would think of the warm-up as a vibrational thing, once you begin to get a sense of the leverage in energy alignment, then you will discover there is so much more power. One who's connected to the stream is more powerful than a million who are not. There is so much leverage in this vibrational warm-up, in this vibrational alignment, in this readying yourself. And all that means, you can tell when you've warmed up. Let's say that you've been dreading it. Well, don't do anything in an attitude of dread. At least get to a place of sort of kind of wanting. In other words, bring yourself at least into hoping or some semblance of positive expectation before you proceed forward. So it's a vibrational warm-up that you're doing. And you have to know, as you look around at the variety of experiences that people are having in relationships to their bodies and food and movement, you just have to know there's much more to it than just food in, food out, or action that is causing an expenditure of energy. It's about this vibrational alignment. And so when you say, I'm feeling good, I'm feeling happier about food, I'm eating more of what I'm wanting, we would say that's that emotional warm-up. But then you say, but I'm gaining weight. So the emotional journey that we're talking about is, if you will let your gauge not be the scale for a while, not be the physical results for a while, but let your gauge be your mood or your attitude, and you can maintain that for a little while, you'll begin to notice that once you get through that warm-up time, that your body will start to come into vibrational alignment with your improving expectation, until you can literally become one of those people who can say what you want and have it be by the power of your expectation, regardless of the physical behavior or action that is surrounding the situation. It is not necessary that you alter your behavior. It is necessary that you alter your thoughts regarding your behavior. And when you do, all things are possible. Truly they are.
Okay, that's what I want to hear.
Yes. Be easy with it. Make food your friend. But you see, here's the thing. So let's talk just a little bit about the difference between downstream and upstream. So you tell us if these statements that we're about to give you feel downstream or upstream. And we're going to extract them from you, so we'll contour them to how you're feeling about all of this. I'm looking forward to my body responding to my desire. Is that a downstream statement or an upstream?
Downstream.
At times I do rather well with that. Downstream or upstream?
Downstream.
If I really had a handle on this, however, I don't think I would be gaining weight. Is that downstream or upstream?
Upstream.
Had a little resistance in it, didn't it? It's all right that I'm not getting the immediate manifestation that I seek while I'm finding my vibrational balance. Is that downstream or upstream. I do believe that my body does respond to my thoughts, downstream or upstream. And I recognize I have a variety of thoughts, but I'm doing better and better at getting them in the direction that pleases me, downstream or upstream. So now, as we played this game, it was pretty easy to feel which thoughts were helpful, or at least which thoughts were downstream, and which thoughts were upstream. We know you get that. In other words, you've been thinking about positive thoughts for a long time. And you can feel subtle differences even. Mm-hmm. So now, think about behavior. So now, you want to not only offer words or thoughts that are downstream, you want to offer behavior that feels downstream. So now, you're thinking about eating something that you haven't been eating for a long time because you believe that it is not in alignment with the shrinking results that you're reaching for. And now you're getting ready to dive into it. You've decided to just push through and take the action anyway. Is that a downstream action or an upstream action?
Upstream.
It is, isn't it? Mm-hmm. In other words, we're not saying to you to stop paying attention to your behavior, because your behavior compounds whatever it is you've got going on vibrationally. We're suggesting that when you warm up with your thoughts and words, that then the behavior is easier to fall into alignment with too, you see, until you can reach the place where you can feel it and really mean it, that diving into that really feels downstream instead of upstream. So the rule of thumb that we would use is don't take action until you've lined up the energy first. And that's what we mean by spend at least as much time in warming up emotionally, vibrationally, as you do actually participating in the event of partaking of food. And as you begin doing that, you'll get your warm-up done, you'll get your energy lined up, you'll be flowing downstream. And when you're flowing downstream vibrationally, the behavior that used to feel upstream will stop feeling so upstream. And when the behavior that used to feel upstream feels downstream, now the whole of you is in alignment, and that's what that good, flowing, fast-moving metabolism is about. In other words, contradictory, I want it, but I want it, but I want it, but, is a body that isn't functioning in the way you really want it to be. But when you've lined up and lined up and lined up and lined up, now the behavior that you're inspired to won't be behavior of deprivation. It will be different behavior because the stream is flowing in a more powerful, less resistant way. Best description we've ever given about that.